on Amazon Prime. It is on Lularich, and it was another one that I did not know anything about. Like, I've never used their leggings, and I've never like known anything about them. Um, I did see the controversy, so you'll see behind Lindsay. That's what people were like receiving, just leggings where the pattern is just god awful. It makes you look like you have dick, vagina. You're like, please don't put that right where it goes. Yeah, there's the dick. So it's an interesting documentary, and it was another one that has my favorite genre of people, which is people starring in a documentary about how terrible they are that don't realize it's a documentary about how terrible they are.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely thought it was about how great that their business was or something.
Yeah.
Not realize uh, that it was a documentary to expose them.
Well, and you know what's funny? I think at the end, like they did realize it and they just like fucking doubled down on how great they were. They literally thought their shit didn't stink. And she was talking about like they were talking about her childhood and how she grew up, and she was like one of like a billion children, and then her husband was also one of a billion children, and they together have a billion children. And she did it like the concept was so pure and good. She wanted something that single moms could do to make money. And that was exactly what you were talking about, where like you needed a job with the flexible hours because you are a mom and you need like to be able to make money, but also, you know, provide for your family. Um, so it like seemed like such a great concept, and everybody was doing so well for like a little bit of time.
Yeah. I did find it like neat on like the leggings that they made and stuff. Their products that they made, or the clothing that they made, they would go to like fabric stores and just like
Yeah.
buy up whatever was on clearance or whatever they liked, and so it was like exclusive what you could get because once it was gone, it was gone. Like you couldn't get it anymore. So that was a neat way to make it so people would go ahead and buy it. It's like, oh, but I want this. So
Yeah, and they were talking about like the treasure hunting for them where you're like, oh, I really want this pattern, so I gotta like find it. And like
yeah,
that was super cool.
yeah,
Um,
it's a
but then
neat
they were talking,
concept.
yeah, they
I
were
think
talking
it
about
just
the
got out of
designers when they
hand.
got
It just
big.
got too big for them to be able to
Yeah.
manage. And instead of hiring professionals that know how to run a business, they just hired all their kids and their kids' spouses, and none of them were trained in business or didn't know, that whatever they were over, they didn't even know anything about it. So
Yeah.
this is not a good plan.
Yeah, that's what they were saying was that like they had a person, and if your car was or if your desk was by the window, you had to like watch out to see the like six Mercedes Benz pull up, and that's how you knew like they were coming into the office because every single one of them is in a Benz. Um, and I like the art prints when they got big, they started like hiring designers. And that was a big thing too, where they were saying that the designers were like stealing other people's designs. And one of them was saying, you're supposed to change the design 20%, and then it counts as like your own artwork, which I don't think changing a design 20% should qualify as your own artwork. I think it should be a higher percentage, but like, who am I to say? So but they were saying that like a lot of artists they were under like such high demand to like just pump out all these things that they didn't even bother. They didn't change anything from Google or anything.
Yeah.
And people were getting like the disgusting ones like wet leggings, and they were like, oh, that sucks, but you can't return it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the buy in for these sellers would be like thousands of dollars just to start selling this. And it's like, no, like, why don't you just let me drop ship it or something? Like,
The woman Deanna too, they were saying they were talking about how they encourage them to like sell their breast milk to like do it, take out loans and all these different things. And then Deanna pops up and she's like, they can do whatever. We didn't tell them they had to do this. Some of them sold cookies to get the 10 grand startup money. And I was like, if they had cookies good enough to be 10 grand worth in like a short amount of time, They wouldn't
Why don't
need
they
your
just
stupid
sell the
lighting.
cookies? They would
Yeah.
say, forget this, I'm just going to sell cookies.
Yeah. Like it was just the crazy thing. But I do believe that they probably were like selling their breast milk and just doing all of these things to get this startup because it seemed like such a good business
Yeah.
in the hiccups. Dying.
Ah,
I haven't I
I'm not
haven't
doing my
eaten today.
kids.
It's like 10 p.m. and I have not eaten. So like my body's starting to shut down
Eat.
on me,
Since
but I
I'm not
still
eating, you can
I
eat.
can't. I
Why?
can't eat. I have to like I'll probably eat after this is done, possibly. I'm not sure. I'm on a weird high right now because I haven't eaten.
My stomach's been bothering me. That's why I'm not eating on camp. I showed in the
Mm.
last episode my bag of
Tootsie Pops.
candy, and I ate one, but I can't eat all 60 in
No,
one
you really
sitting.
can't.
So
That'll hurt your stomach even more. Um, yeah, so like they had the buy-in and then they had it. I did love the community. Like it's a cult, and that's what people like
it
said
is.
it was. They're like it was basically a cult, and it seemed like it. Like they had the communities where they're like we had these parties and we had these big events, we went on cruises and we did all these things, and like we had this group of people that like shared our beliefs and talked about these things. But then they also said if somebody quit, you had to like block them, and they basically just couldn't exist in your life anymore. Like if they quit LuLaRoe, they were dead to you. And then they also said what was it if they quit oh, and they made you like post about it. They said like if anything good happens in your life, you have to thank LuLaRoe for it. So like if you got a new house, it was because of LuLaRoe. If you were able to have a new baby, it was because of LuLaRoe. And like these women would get in trouble for like posting good life events and not tagging LuLaRoe in it, being like, thank you for providing me with this like amazing event.
Yeah, that's such bullshit. Such brainwashing.
Yeah. And they were making a crazy amount of money, um which I'm floored at how much money some of these people said they were making. They're
But
like
then
we're
they were
making
putting it back into it because, like, one of them was like, I made this much, but in all the expenses that I had, they barely even broke even
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they're saying they're like, and
because
then they
they were
changed like,
encouraged to buy like expensive purses and expensive things to show off what they bought with their LuLaRoe money,
yeah.
things
And
like
that's what was so sad about like this documentary is that
that.
a lot of them like said that they filed for bankruptcy, that they like have all this excess inventory, that like they're in financial like hardship because LuLaRoe changed their production and their quality of product. It went to this, like it went to just like not the same material. It was tearing, it was coming wet in the bag, and like they're like, I can't sell this. I can't sell a pair of leggings that is wet. And they're like, oh well, it must have been a UPS issue. It's like one bag is sealed and wet, and everything else in the shipment is fine. It wasn't UPS.
Right.
Like, and so they were just like, all the quality went down, and these people weren't prepared for it. Like they had 20,000, 30,000, $50,000 tied up in leggings that nobody wanted, and then they wouldn't take them back. And that's what they said that made them a pyramid scheme, because they wouldn't buy back inventory. And I guess you need to buy back inventory in order to not be a pyramid scheme. And so they like released this memo, and they're like, we will buy back all of your unused inventory. We are a real legitimate company. Please send us this back. And like too many people did it. So then they like canceled it right away. And they're like, nope, just kidding. You're not getting refunds. Go die.
I've never bought anything LuLaRoe before.
I haven't either. Like it looks cute,
There
but
for a while, I got messages all the time from the people I went to high school with that I never talked to that were selling it, and I would be like, nope,
yeah,
I'm not even responding to this message.
no, because that's the problem with it is you're just like they made it like a very incestuous company, because they were saying like, yes, you can technically make money from selling things, but really the way that you make money is recruiting your friends. And then it's like, okay, well, I recruited my friends and now I'm not selling to my friends. Like they're selling their own stuff. And so it becomes just this like weird thing. It just reminds me of that Schitt's Creek episode where they're like, oh, that hit us a couple years ago. I sold to her and then she sold to me and we were both selling to each other and then we sold to the other town and now we're all, directors and stuff. And like they all have like high titles, but they're like, I'm nothing in this company.
Yeah. Mm, I love that show.
It's a good show. Um, but yeah, like, and then in this documentary, like when people started to criticize them, these people went off. And they were like, if you can't sell your inventory, that's a you problem. There's nothing
Right.
wrong with our products. You're obviously a piece of shit and you can't do anything right. And like that's on you. And I was like, can you even imagine if like you like couldn't sell this much product and it was an issue across the board and your boss was just like, well, obviously you're just a shit salesperson. Like
Well, your
clearly there's
product is
nothing with
shit.
me. Yeah.
I know
And they
that
just
one
refuse
woman
to leave it.
on uh that Mary, the oldest wife on Sister
Oh
Wives,
yeah, it's just
or the
wives.
first wife, maybe not the oldest, but the first one.
Yeah, the first
Uh,
wife.
she sells Lularich.
Yeah.
Remember seeing like
I do remember seeing that she was doing
massive
that.
business levels selling the
Yeah.
Lularich, like went on all the trips with them and shit. I wonder if she's still selling it. Do people still sell it? Like it's still a
Yeah.
thing?
So at the end of the episode, they had this one woman who was still selling it. And she was like, I did kind of like her business model because she wasn't just like she was doing styling with it too. So she was still selling it. She still said that this is still an active company. And she was like, I still sell it. I do Facebook Live videos where like I show people how to style the different leggings and things like that. And like, so it is still active, but it's just not as big. And a lot of people end up just taking the loss on the product and they're like, I just have so much inventory that's left. And a ton of lawsuits were filed, and I don't think many, if any of them, were successful. Um, so overall just like really fascinating documentary just to see like how somebody that doesn't know how to run a business can really like get that high up and then just like crash and burn like that. Like they I really do think that they got too big too quick because they said originally she was selling these just out of the trunk of her car. She made them herself and then she was selling them out of the trunk of her car and then all of a sudden, they blew up and they needed to have 8,000 people selling them.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was very interesting though, like you said. Like
Yeah.
how fast it blew up just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like how do you get that many people to get on board that
Well,
fast?
it's because originally their product was really good. So they said originally the product was like the softest material. They were really thick leggings. They had really good seams. And then the sign-on bonuses, like yes, it was a lot to start up, but you got really big bonuses. You got all of these like trips. You got all of these like incentives. Um, so in the beginning, it did seem like it was a good plan, but then as it got bigger, they were like more focused on just getting more people to sign up instead of like focusing on the sales and the quality and things like that. And then what was interesting is when one of them was talking about her like leggings that were like they came in smelling disgusting. She's like, I went to file a refund, and one of the options for why you're returning this item literally was stinky leggings. And you're like, how many leggings do you
Often
have
is
to
this
get
happening?
that you have a category for smelly leggings? That would be super off-putting to me as a like a
Yeah.
seller if like because you think you're like, oh, it had tears or had this, but that's what they're saying. They were saying like we're getting them, they were wet, they smelled bad, they had tears, they had mold, they had like all of these issues, and they're like, I can't sell this. And then I think certain people, like there was one category that was pretty high up that they were like, you're not allowed to return anything until all of your inventory is gone. Like you have to sell everything and then we'll take your returns, or you have to have like a certain number of returns and then we'll take them back from you. And you're like, no, like that's my money. Like I can't
Yeah.
sell these. So I just have to hold this and take the loss until you think that I have enough to return to you. So just it didn't make a lot of sense. But then when you watch these people on this documentary, like they they really thought that they were just God's gift to women, and like and that they did nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong ever in their lives, and all they were doing is helping mothers support their families.
Yeah.
And like,
My mom always did those stupid pyramid schemes. Like she sold makeup and she sold jewelry and she sold skin products and like she had her normal day job, but she always did those. And they'd have those stupid little parties.
yeah,
Everybody comes over and they show you all these products and I hated that shit. That's
they're
why I'm so
so
against them now. So my mom did that shit all the time.
when I worked at daycare, I met
Home
the
interior. She sold home interior as well.
oh, okay. Yeah, so Amway is a company that is currently like kind of like this. And when I worked for a daycare, I met these two little girls, sweet as can be, smart as whips, but their mother sold Amway. And I remember like every year for like Christmas, she would like bring the book in and she would give it to like the daycare director. She goes, let me know what you want out of this book. And it's like $40 for one like pump bottle hand soap and like $60 for a detergent and just these absolutely insane prices. And my boss, the daycare director, she's like, I feel kind of like I have to order something from her. So she's like, I feel obligated to buy at least something because this woman is the mother of a kid at my daycare, and like I do need her kid in my daycare. So like so she, would buy something. So I actually started babysitting for them like personally. And she tried to pay me an Amway. Like she was like, and she had the craziest setup too. She was like, I'll give you $20 in cash at the beginning of every day. And then if you want cash, I'll pay you $8 in cash an hour until the girls go to sleep. And once they're asleep, I'm only paying you 5. But like if the girls didn't go to
You
sleep at
still have
that
to
time,
be there.
yeah. And that's the thing
Like
is like, well, and it was an arbitrary number. She goes, the girls go to sleep at 8. If they didn't fall asleep at 8, like I'm still only getting paid $5 an hour for that 8 p.m. hour. So no matter if I have to like do a lot more, because she's like, well, they go to bed at 8. And it's like, yeah. And I had to read her 6 stories to get her to go to bed. Like that wasn't just she went to bed and it was just over. But if I took her Amway, then it was $12 an hour in Amway credits and $8 an hour in Amway when they went to sleep. And then I could just like buy things from her Amway store with that credit. So she literally tried to pay me in Amway instead of paying me cash. And so it was like that, and the fact that like she was just like didn't want to pay me. Like it was very clear that she only wanted to pay me in Amway. And I was like, no, I
I
want the
have
cash now. I
bills.
don't want
Like
to
I
deal with
have
it.
bills to pay.
Yeah,
And
like
I can't pay
you're
those with Amway.
I can't pay it with your $40 soaps. So that's what this makes me think of, where it's just like you have to do it. And it is just like it's so cult like, where it's like this is your whole life. You have to talk about this to like every single person you know, and like everything is this. This is your whole life. This is your whole personality. You are no longer a person. You are a Lularich saleswoman, a boss babe. Or I think they were going with girl boss. You're a girl boss. That's everything is
Just be a
hashtag
boss.
hashtag girl boss.
Why y'all gotta make it sexist? Why can't it just be a boss? I'm just a boss in general.
It's
But you're really
because
not
that,
a boss. You're really a servant to this company.
and also calling it a girl boss, you're just like, oh, so I'm a girl, not a woman. Come on,
Right?
it's 2021. So it's
Well,
very,
I've never
very
liked
interesting.
LuLaRoe, and this solidified that
Yeah.
I had made the right decision. So
Yeah, I feel good never having purchased it, and because I hate all people, never had anybody try to sell me this. So thank you, my personality, for like no for not having those
they would
people
be
in
like,
my
"Oh,
life.
Megan's not gonna want this shit. I'm not even gonna pester her about it."
Yeah, like I don't speak to the right people. So if any of my friends sold Lularoe, they didn't tell me.
Well, it wasn't my friends. It was like the people I went to school with that I haven't talked to since I graduated, and they'd be like,
But
"Hey,
that's what I mean. Like it wasn't
how have
those
you
like
been?" And you're like, "Oh my god, I know where this is going. I'm
yeah,
good.
like
How are
it
you?"
wasn't those
I'm
randos on my
great.
Facebook.
Yeah, no, it would be them, and they'd be like, "How are you?" And you're like, "I'm good. How are you?" They're like,
You're
"I'm
like, get
great
to it.
because I've been." It's like, oh, here we fucking
I
go.
just started with LuLaRoe and it's such a great opportunity. Can I interest you in this? And you're like, No, you can't. Like, I
After
don't
their
have
spiel, then I would be like, I'm not even responding to this. I would just leave them on red.
good.
I'd be like,
And
no.
like, yeah, that's the thing is like they just like they're like it's a numbers game. Just keep selling, and you're like, to who?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
those
I could
people.
the only way I could see that doing well is if like you did have one of those small businesses
And
and you put it all
originally,
in the store
yeah, so
coming
originally that's what I
around.
thought they did. Like it sounded like they were targeting the boutiques and they were selling them in the store, but then they were like, no, those boutique owners would be like, oh God, I don't remember the terms that they used, but they're like, oh, this is this, and then they sold it to their like this level, and you're like, multi-level marketing scheme. Yes, we know.
Oh my
Also
gosh.
known as
So
pyramid.
a couple years ago, my granny had an issue where I think it was like her aorta or something, the one that goes into the heart,
Mm-hmm.
was like having issues, and she like almost died, and it was really bad. So she's in ICU or something in the hospital. I'm sitting there, and one of her old friends comes in
No.
and to see her and sold the paparazzi jewelry. And so my granny has
Bless her
not
heart.
been like, she has alopecia, so she doesn't have hair, and she hasn't worn jewelry in years. Like, that wasn't something she did. So she comes in, and Granny's laying there. We didn't know if she was going to make it at that point. It was really scary. And this woman is like, so things have been going good. My daughter sells paparazzi, and so I'm helping her sell that. And she goes live on that Facebook, and I help her, and we sell this paparazzi. And my granny's like, what? And she's like, paparazzi, it's jewelry. And it's like, she doesn't give a shit about this. Why are you even giving her this spiel? Like, are you kidding me right now?
Like who does that? And that's the
I
problem with these is like it literally makes people just like
That's all
so
they're gonna go. Like, she's in
unaware.
ICU, not even sure she's going to live long enough to get out of this room, and you're gonna try and brag to her about fucking jewelry. She doesn't give a shit about your cheap $5 jewelry. Like, come the
Yeah.
fuck on. But I'm like, is this woman serious? And she's like, paparazzi, it's jewelry, it's paparazzi, paparazzi. And I was like, if I fucking hear that word one more time.
But and like that, I've seen their jewelry. It's just giant gaudy jewelry.
It
Like
is.
it just it's not cute. Like I like leggings. Like I would have considered this, and I think one of the reasons I never bought it is because I don't trust leggings. I don't think that they're going to be like full coverage. Like you have leggings and you're like, I don't want to feel like my ass is going to be showing. I don't want to feel like I
Right.
have to like double check this in the mirror. And I mean, at the beginning they didn't have to, but then like something changed one of those years, and then all of a sudden now it's like now you have leggings that are gonna like, get a hole at like the first second.
Yeah. Those zebra ones I got have a hole in them. Like, I wore them the
Oh
one time and they got a
no.
hole in them, and I keep meaning to stitch them back up because it's like right along the seam. It just came undone, and I
Yeah.
know. So I mean, I can easily fix it. I just never have. I need
I
to because it's
accidentally
not.
popped my Numi undershirts, like the ones with like the pads for your armpits. I accidentally, because I let my nails grow too long because I was being lazy. It's been 2 weeks since I filed them, and they're like double this length, like double, if not more. And I wasn't paying attention, and they were square at that time because when they grow that long, they just square off. And I accidentally popped a hole in my undershirt with the corner of my nail, and I was so
Oh,
pissed. I was like, "Damn it!" I was like, I knew I should have like brought my nail file like with me and done my nails, but I didn't. That's what I think of. Like every time I put on tights, I know I'm gonna like pop like rip a seam in them. I just don't. I won't do it.
yeah. No, that was the Lularich special this week. It was really, if you're into learning more about those pyramid schemes and like how they work, it's very interesting.
And honestly, even if you just want to watch the owners just like completely be oblivious
Oh my god,
to the
and she's
fact that they have a
so funny.
horrible company.
But yeah, and then the one point where she's like fidgeting with the rug. Let's put these like the little tassels on the edge of the rug. They had to be
Yeah.
perfect, and she's like, once they were, it's
They
like,
that
oh
was
my
the
god,
creepiest part about them. They looked like they had to be perfect at all times, and like that's what they're like the voices that they used, and like it was so creepy the way that she did it. Oh, and we skipped over an entire part where she bullied all of her sellers to get gastric bypass surgery.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, how did we miss an entire part where like she literally pressured all of these women to get gastric bypass in Tijuana because she did, and she would literally charter buses. And she was
Yeah.
like, I'm chartering a bus. Are you coming to get it yet? And you're like, first of all, offensive. Like, are you coming to get it yet? I didn't even agree. Like,
Yeah, like, why are you telling me fat? Like, what the hell?
yeah. But so she was like, I got it and I loved it. And like obviously it didn't take, because if you see the videos of like her right after she got her surgery and then now you're like, okay, obviously you had it reversed or something. But they were like, oh, me and my husband split meals because we both had it and our stomachs are so small now. Just like, okay. Like, don't pressure other people into getting the experimental. I mean not experimental, but like catering, like chartering a bus to Tijuana to go and get like 12 girls gastric bypass over what, a weekend? That doesn't seem safe.
No, no, it doesn't at all.
Yeah. So like watch this for her alone. Her and her husband, their lack of self-awareness, the
Zero
absolute
self awareness at all.
the absolute audacity of like how they think that they run the perfect business and have never done anything wrong in their lives when they have no business experience is incredible. They take no responsibility for anything
Yeah.
ever.
And it's like, it's all you. Do you
Yeah.
not see this? I
You're
wonder
the
if they had any
problem.
self awareness after they watched it. I doubt it, but
No, no way. They probably went, that's not what they said. They took it out of context.
yeah, that's out of context. That's not what I meant. Or, yeah, I mean, I did say that, but that isn't what I meant. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Like, we're a good company, you guys. We're respectable. We make leggings.
We've saved so many lives through our Lularich business.
Honestly, that I'm pretty sure if that's not a direct quote, that's pretty close to what she said. She genuinely believes that they saved
Yes.
lives with these leggings. And
With these vagina and penis leggings.
yeah, like she's changing lives. That's for goddamn sure. But yeah, and then they said too
God,
that
that's
like,
so stupid.
yeah, it was a ridiculous ridiculous thing, but I'm glad that they made it and I hope that they make more. I want more documentaries on known multi-level marketing schemes and cults and all of that, because I think everybody needs to know like these are the tips to look out for to know if you're in this like this and if you
I
should
think
get
that's kind
out
of
of
what
it.
I'm
Like,
in with my gaming crew, because everybody knows that I'm in a gaming crew. They all know all about it because that's all I ever talk about.
yeah. But you're not recruiting other people to be in your crew. You're like, this is
I
a
do though.
closed
I
crew.
do
Yeah.
though. All my gaming friends, I'm like, have you thought about joining our crew?
The moist cluckas.
Like, a lot of my gaming friends have joined, and none of them have stuck around. Not my real life friends that are gamers.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Shocking. Maybe you should take a good hard look at your multi-level marketing scheme.
Well, it's because most of
If,
my gaming friends that are real life gaming friends, they all have like really bad social anxiety, so they're like
yeah,
gotta talk in the parties and that kind of thing. So
yeah. Like the real key is if anybody ever asks you to give a bunch of money to them,
we
don't
do
do it.
have a so you're not required to donate every month, but you're
Okay.
encouraged to donate $5 a month to go toward the crew because it covers like our website and things like that. And then we also do like recently one of the guys' TVs broke. And he didn't have money to buy a new TV, so we all just pitched in and bought him a new TV. And then,
Well, see, that's nice though.
yeah,
And like
like we've
something
done,
like that.
yeah, we've bought like home appliances for people, like when they
Yeah,
bought a
see,
new house.
that's
And
nice. And that's like the community. But this is just like, give me $10,000 and then you're on your own and you have to sell this product
yeah,
or like you're stuck with it. Like yours is just like, listen, we have a website and we just want to keep it running and like have money for like incidentals. But like,
yeah. So
so
like
for
right before I
now,
joined, they like helped pay for one person's dad's funeral.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, like so, like that's what we do with it. It's not like, you
All
know,
right. Your multi-level marketing scheme can stay for now.
for
You're
now.
on my radar though, so like keep it clean.
No, we're not going to. That way we'll have a good episode to talk about someday on it.
I can finally be one of those people. I'm like, I knew Lindsay. She never
Before
tried to get
she
me to
joined the
join.
cult.
She never tried to recruit me. I think it's because I was very bad at gaming.
You should join.
I know you have
You
told me
don't
I should
have to be
join.
good at gaming.
No, you know what it is
I'm terrible.
I can't sit there and like play. Like I don't care. Like you guys all like when you get
But you
home and
could
you want to
talk.
game. That's true. I could log in just to like
You
talk
just
to
find
people.
yourself a kingy because, like, I'll just ride on the back of his motorcycle and then just talk in the party, just like
That's what
tag
I should
along.
do.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just tag along. It's pretty
Like
much
that's it. Like just put me on the back of your like horse, your bike, your whatever, and just like drive me around places, take me shopping at the stores.
yeah. That's literally all that I do for the most
I
part. Like,
know.
I go and change my clothes and ride with everybody else and just
Yeah. See, I like that, but I don't know. I just never like I don't have that, and I don't come
you just
home and
play
I'm not.
sometime
I know,
and
but
just
that's the thing is I don't come home and I'm like, oh, I should game. Like I have a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4. Um, I don't think I've turned either of them on in at least a year, and I'm pretty sure I only turned on the PlayStation 3. Oh, because I wanted to try getting into gaming, and then I was just like so catastrophically bad at it that just like bummed me out. I can only play Mortal Kombat and Skylanders, and I gave away all of my Skylanders. So
I have the
so I'm
new
out
Mortal
of
Kombat.
I haven't tried the new Mortal Kombat. I bought a new version of Mortal Kombat and it's still in the packaging. I haven't even bothered to open it.
It may be the one I have, and you can play it with me.
I'll check.
I promise. Whenever you play multiplayer and you're in like a party with people, it's so much more fun.
You say so.
It really is.
I would love the social aspect of it because I do love being social. And I love talking.
And I'm the only girl in the crew right now that ever talks.
Yeah.
We
That's
have
my
one more girl, but she doesn't talk. She keeps her mic muted all the time.
aw.
I know. I want her to talk. Like, I love her.
But then it would just be this. Just the whole time. And it'd be people trying to have like real conversations and then just be us like, excuse you, you're ruining our talk.
I'd be like, okay, we got to make a new party without Lindsay and Megan in it that they don't know about because
we did. I'm in a group chat with four guys and I was asking if they would like be basic bitches with me and do all that like cute fall shit. I was like, you guys, I want to go to a corn maze, a bonfire, a fucking pumpkin patch, a haunted trail. I want to do something cute and fall. And I was like, can somebody just be basic with me for like a little bit? And they were
you
all
can
like,
come
just
down
kind of like,
here. We have Pumpkin Hollow that they have the pumpkin patch, they have a corn maze, they have haunted houses, like all that stuff.
well, well, I'm house sitting almost every weekend, so I can't come down there. Like October is a bad month for house sitting. But
I thought you were
like,
quitting that job. It's another one
yeah,
of those cults you're stuck
I did
in.
not. And it's specifically because my closing costs for my condo are excessive and I'm stressed out about money. So I'm trying to like bulk it up at the cost of my like sanity. But
Yeah.
it's only for a few months and then we'll try quitting again. Um, but I was like, I'm like in this group chat. And I'm like, come on, you guys, please, like somebody do basic bitch things. And then they kept trying to change the subject. I'm like, no, focus. Someone agree to go to a pumpkin patch with me. But that's what it would be. It would just be like that.
You would have fun.
I'm sure I would, but like, who has the time?
You have the time.
I don't have the time.
You do when you're sitting at home sometime. Especially be like, hey, I'm just sitting here at home. Let's get online. And I'll be like, okay, come on.
But I'm like very rarely at home nowadays. So I'll see. I'll consider it.
Just 1 hour of the 1 week.
That's true. I do like that's the thing. Is
I'm
like I
sure
just
Crimes would have a ton of questions for you because he's the one who watches all of our shows.
oh
He
good.
did say that he was watching the 90 Day and he had to skip like half of it because he was like, I don't know anything that they're talking about because he doesn't watch it.
That's why we recap the entire thing for you. You
Like,
don't
you
need
should
to
know the
watch it
whole show
now.
now.
Yeah, like now you can just start on season 3 with us.
Yeah. All right.
All right, well, that's it. Watch Lularich on Amazon Prime. Don't watch it. Definitely subscribe to our show. That one you should do. We are probably not a pyramid scheme.
Probably not.
Probably not. Not yet, at least. We'll get
Just
there.
make sure if you subscribe, you share our show on your page and ask all of your friends to subscribe and make sure that they do the same thing.
And tell them how great your life has been since you started watching our show.
Quib talk.
Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye.